The eye-opener, 7 years after the strongest tornado in recorded history, these people are still trying to get their insurance company to pay up. Is there a lesson here for hurricane victims? We start. And the strongest tornado ever hit Oklahoma in 1999. You probably remember these pictures. Why are some people still waiting for their insurance company to pay up? First, though, number 8 on our CNN.com countdown, a chaotic $1,000 so far. It has been more than 7 months since Hurricane Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast. Should any of those homeowners be concerned about the way an insurance company handled a disaster 7 years ago? Still waiting for their money. We're going to have an eye-opening report coming up. As we are continuing to hear a lot of stories. It's 7 months after Hurricane Katrina. People on the Gulf Coast are still fighting with insurance companies. In Mississippi, a grand jury is even looking into whether companies hired to assess damage were asked to change the reports in favor of insurers. Well, now here's something to think about. 7 years after the strongest tornado ever hit, some Oklahoma homeowners are still battling with their insurance companies. Jerry Willis has tonight's eye-opener.
I'm getting nervous. This is bad. Look at that. Look at that.
May 3rd, 1999. The strongest tornado ever recorded ripped through the southern suburbs of Oklahoma City. Up to a mile wide, with winds up to 318 miles per hour, it was part of a storm that killed 48 people and left widespread devastation. The tornado roared right by Donna and David Cosper's house.
The F5 tornado came right across the hillside there where you see the trees, the treetops. Yeah. Came right across there. And then there were two small tornadoes that came off of it that went down through the trees and then back up, hit the back of our home.
Cosper ran for a neighbor's storm cellar. About a mile away, off-duty police officer Larry Love was working on his yard.
And a car came around this corner and he stopped and he said, "Hey, there's a big tornado coming, heading this direction."
Love rushed to take shelter at his mother-in-law's and with his family listened to the police radio.
There was a Oklahoma City police officer that said that she was at Southwest 133rd Place and Briar Hollow Drive, and that there are homes down, devastated, and people trapped. She was just basically right around the corner.
Officer Love spent the next few days searching through rubble and rescuing people. When he finally went into his own home, he saw it was badly damaged.
Roof shingles.
Donna Cosper was shocked when she came out of the storm cellar. Houses were reduced to rubble. Somehow, her own house was still standing, but was also damaged. Cracks in the walls. The house frame twisted so doors wouldn't close, and the air conditioning malfunctioned, soon causing condensation and mold inside. Grass even grew out of one wall. Cosper and Love got in touch with their insurance company, State Farm, to start the repair process. The Cospers, the Loves, and others in this community had been faithfully paying their premiums to State Farm for years. They figured that if the worst happened, they would be protected. But when the worst did happen, they say State Farm became part of the problem, not paying for all the damage.
We're suing State Farm for the way that they handled the catastrophe claims here in Oklahoma in 1999. It's pretty organized.
Jeff Marr represents Cosper, Love, and more than 70 others in a class action suit against State Farm. He says State Farm hired a firm called Hague Engineering to inspect the homes, but he claims the engineering firm deliberately underreported the damage. Allegations State Farm and Hague Engineering deny.
They're saying that it was just poor construction.
Larry Love says State Farm first used a different engineering company to inspect his home. That company reported this about the roof. The ridge beam appeared to be rotated, suggesting that the roof has undergone rotation or racking from the high winds. It appears this rotation caused the rafters to pull out of the beam. Worried the inspection hadn't found all the damage, Love asked for a second opinion. State Farm sent out Hague Engineering. Attorney Marr says the Hague report played down the tornado's effect on the house. It appeared that the primary damage this dwelling received from the storm was from debris impact and interior exposure to weather and rain. And there was this about the damage to the roof. The separations were as-built conditions. Hague claimed the problem was there before the storm.
I have two engineering reports. They basically took the first one that said that my house was damaged and stuff. They disposed of that. And they basically told me, no, the Hague report is gospel. This is exactly what it is. This is all we're paying, and you're not getting anything else.
State Farm paid Donna Cosper almost $62,000, but that was $30,000 short of what she ended up paying to fix structural damage. Damage Hague Engineering said didn't happen in the tornado. Her safety engineer had a different story.
He described it to me like the house just took a big breath because the pressure on the front of the house and the pressure on the back of the house, it just made the house suck apart.
State Farm used Hague to pay less on claims than what it should have, knowing that Hague had a bias in State Farm's favor and against the policyholder.
Marr points to a 1994 Texas State Supreme Court case that found State Farm hired Hague Engineering knowing the firm would have a bias in the insurer's favor. In depositions for the Oklahoma case, Hague Engineering denied being biased against homeowners, and in a statement to CNN said the firm does not allow clients to influence the results of its reports. State Farm declined an interview, but in statements to CNN, State Farm said it expects objective opinions from outside experts like Hague Engineering. And State Farm said it paid out $4.5 million on 77 claims after the tornado, based on Hague Engineering reports. State Farm did not say how many Hague Engineering evaluated claims were denied or reduced. In this deposition, State Farm's former vice president for claims, Frank Haynes, said the company paid what's fair.
What should your policyholders have expected from State Farm following this catastrophe in regard to their claim handling?
If they had a policy with State Farm, whether it be State Farm Fire and Casualty, State Farm Mutual Automobile, that their claim would have been handled as quickly as possible, as fairly as possible.
An Oklahoma court is getting ready to determine whether that really happened after the strongest tornado in recorded history.
When I hear the like a good neighbor State Farm is there, it makes me nauseous. To this day, it makes me nauseous.
Let me show you back here.
Larry Love still hasn't had his roof fully repaired. Donna Cosper spent $30,000 out of her own pocket to make her house livable. They hope that a judgment in their lawsuit will soon bring their 7-year nightmare to an end.
That's moving right at us. We got to get out of here.
Jerry Willis, CNN, Oklahoma City.
And just last week, after being contacted by CNN, State Farm's lawyers asked an Oklahoma district court judge to try to force the homeowner's attorney to make CNN return documents and deposition videotapes used to prepare our story. The judge turned down State Farm's request.